So I grew up going to church as a kid, and so ended up going to Sunday school at the same time. And for those of you who are wondering, yes, I was that annoying kid that knew all the answers and drove my Sunday school teachers crazy. There was this one time when actually I got sent to the corner of the room so that someone else could answer a question. It was that I was that bad. Anyway, one of my favourite stories that I learned at Sunday school was the story of Jesus calming the storm. You can find it in Luke chapter 8, verses 22 to 25. One day, he got into a boat with his disciples, and he said to them, "Let us go across to the other side of the lake." So they set out, and as they sailed, he fell asleep. And a windstorm came down on the lake, and they were filling with water and were in danger. And they went and woke him, saying, "Master, Master, we are perishing." Right, so picture the scene. The disciples, some of them professional fishermen, sailing across the Lake of Galilee, and Jesus falls asleep. A storm comes down and brings them all into panic. You know it must have been bad if some professional fishermen are panicking. Just picture it, they're running around trying to solve the problem themselves. I'd imagine personally Peter having an absolute field day as a fisherman, bossing some of the other disciples around. "Matthew, grab the bucket. Judas, put down the purse and give us a hand. Simon, don't let go of the rope." And all this sound, all this franticness over the sound of a gale of the wind and sounds of the waves crashing heavily against the boat. And whilst all that's going on, Jesus, sound asleep, through it all, until someone wakes him up. Now, why did they decide to wake Jesus up? If I was them, if I was Peter, I would want Jesus to come and lend a hand, to grab a bucket and get his hands dirty. I would want Jesus to do what I thought was the best way to resolve this crisis. The story continues. And he woke and rebuked the wind and the raging waves, and they ceased, and there was calm. He said to them, "Where is your faith?" And they were afraid, and they marveled, saying to one another, "Who then is this, that he commands even winds and water, and they obey him?" So Jesus doesn't do any of that, any of what they were expecting or kind of wanting him to do. He steps up and does the last thing any of them expected. He tells of creation. He tells the wind and the waves to stop, and they listened. He solved the root cause of the crisis and not try and cope with the situation that he's in. The big question he asked his disciples is, where is your faith? Think about it. They were in a boat with the one who they had just seen earlier back in the story, book of Luke, you'd see they have just seen Jesus raise a son back to life. They'd have seen Jesus had healed a man with a withered hand, yet they wanted to do things that they thought was best. It was like they had forgotten who was in the boat with them. How often do we fall into a similar sort of trap? We go through the storms of life and forget that as Christians, Jesus is with us. We forget that he's going through the same things with us. We focus so much on the waves and just forget who's with us. His question, "Where is your faith?" is a call for us to step back and think. Is our faith in our own strength and efforts, or in the one who created the world, the one who has authority over all things and is right by our sides and loves us? Whatever the storm you're facing right now in your life, as we go into lockdown 2.0, look to Jesus. Look to Jesus, the one in the boat with you, and see how he can calm your storm.